Hello children, how are you all? Doing good? Very nice. Children, we have read so many types of stories, poems. We also read a play, remember? But today we are going to read a different type of story. And that type of story is a funny story. बच्चों, आज हम एक फनी स्टोरी पढ़ने वाले हैं, बहुत ही मज़ेदार, जिसमें एक लड़का है पीटर. देखते हैं वो क्या करता है. So let's start with the story 90 minutes. Children, this is a funny story about a small boy, Peter, who counts his steps and checks time, and he goes from one place to another. Then he asks a strange riddle about it to his friends. तो ये जो बच्चा है, एक लड़का है पीटर, वो अपने स्टेप्स, जितने वो कदम लेता है वो गिनता है और बाद में अपने दोस्तों से एक अजीबोगरीब रिडल पूछता है, यानी कि एक पहेली. रिडल मीन्स पहेली. There was a wise small boy whose name was Peter. One day he carried his basket of eggs and set off through the forest for Mrs. Ketty's cottage. As he moved forward, he kept on counting the number of steps he initiated. Peter जा रहा था मिसेस कैटी की कॉटेज की तरफ, लेकिन साथ ही में उसने अपने कदम गिनने शुरू कर दिए. When Peter reached to Mrs. Ketty's cottage, he knocked at the door and handed over the eggs she used to receive every day. It is perfectly 6,250 steps from my door to yours, he said to her. पीटर ने एकदम सही गिनती बता दी कि वो कितने कदम चल के आया है. It took me exactly 90 minutes to come here. Then he moved on with his eggs to Mr. George's house, which was towards the west of Mrs. Ketty's cottage. Peter counted his steps again. बच्चों, अब जब पीटर मिसेस कैटी के घर से मिस्टर जॉर्ज के घर की तरफ बढ़ा तो उसने फिर से अपने कदम गिनने लगा. But what a great astonishment! Again it was perfectly 6,250 steps from Mrs. Ketty's cottage to Mr. George's house. दोनों के घर में भी वही अंतर था, उतने ही कदम जितने वो अपने घर से चलकर आया था. बहुत ही हैरानी की बात थी. Peter saw his watch and again found that it had taken him again 90 minutes as before. What a wonderful surprise! तो बच्चों, उसने देखा कि फिर से उसे 90 मिनट लगे एक घर से दूसरी तरफ पहुंचने में, और ऐसा 2 बार हुआ. तो वो बहुत ही हैरान था. Now he began to move back for his home. Once again he counted his steps. It was again 6,250 steps from Mr. George's house to Peter's own small cottage in his village. अब वो मिस्टर जॉर्ज के घर से चला और जब अपने घर पहुंचा तो फिर उतने ही कदम. Therefore, the distance between every place is same, thought Peter. It is very strange. बहुत ही अजीब बात थी. When I go out in the afternoon, I will tell other boys. तो उसने सोचा, अब मैं बाकी लड़कों को भी ये बात बताऊंगा. That afternoon, Peter told his little story to other boys, but he made it a little puzzle. उसने ये बात तो बताई, लेकिन एक पहेली के रूप में. This is how he presented his story to his friends. Listen, he said. This morning, I went to Mrs. Ketty's cottage. I walked 6,250 steps and it took me 90 minutes. Then I walked to Mr. George's house. Again, the number of steps was same and it took 90 minutes to reach there. Then I walked back home. Again, I found that I walked same number of steps. But now it took me 1 hour and 30 minutes. Can you tell why? अब उसने पूरी कहानी सुना दी. आखिर में उसने कहा कि लास्ट में मुझे वही कदम नहीं गिनने पड़े क्योंकि अब ये ज़्यादा था और समय भी ज़्यादा था. अब मुझे 1 hour 30 minutes यानी 1 घंटा और 30 मिनट लगे. क्या तुम बता सकते हो ऐसा क्यों हुआ? Don't be silly, Peter. I walked with the same speed. Very puzzling, said Bunny. I think you must have stopped to talk to someone. तभी तुम्हें ज़्यादा देर लगी, बनी ने कहा. शायद तुम रास्ते में बात करने के लिए रुक गए थे. No, I didn't, said Peter. I didn't meet anyone on the way. Then, who could I talk to? Didn't you stop to tie up your shoelaces? Pick up your handkerchief or do something like that? asked Jim. जिम ने भी यही पूछा. शायद तुम रास्ते में रुक के अपनी लेस बांधने लगे या कुछ उठाने लगे. No, said Peter. I didn't do any such thing on my way. Well, then you must have made a mistake, said Sam. कोई भी उसकी बात का भरोसा नहीं कर रहा था और कोई भी ये पहेली नहीं सुलझा पा रहा था. You couldn't have taken 1 hour and 30 minutes to go the same distance. There must be something wrong with your old watch. तो सबने यही कहा, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है. अगर उतना ही डिस्टेंस है, उतनी ही दूरी है, तो वही समय लगना चाहिए. ज़्यादा समय कैसे लग रहा है? कुछ गड़बड़ है, तुम्हारी घड़ी ही खराब है, पुरानी घड़ी. No, my watch keeps correct time, said Peter. But I didn't think you were so stupid. It is you who are stupid, said Sam. थोड़ी सी लड़ाई हो गई. दोनों एक दूसरे को मूर्ख बोलने लगे. You could not have taken 1 hour and 30 minutes to go the same distance. You must have taken 90 minutes before you walked the same number of steps as before. You fools! Ha ha ha! You all are stupid, said Peter. Peter उन पे जोर से हंसा. 90 minutes are equal to 1 hour and 30 minutes. Don't you know that much? Hee, what a joke. None of you could work out my puzzle, cried Peter happily and went his way. तो बच्चों, लास्ट में पीटर ने समझाया और एक्चुअली उसने सबको बुद्धू बनाया, सबको फूल कर दिया कि 90 मिनट्स इक्वल होते हैं 1 hour 30 minutes. एक ही बात है, या तो उसे 90 मिनट्स बोलो या 1 घंटा 30 मिनट बोलो. तो वो एक ही बात थी, उसने अलग तरीके से कहा और कोई भी बच्चा ये बात नहीं समझ पाया. सो दैट वाज द स्टोरी ऑफ very smart Peter. I'm sure you really like this puzzle and you might have cracked it also. Why don't you make similar puzzles? But before that, attempt the book exercises.